Hello and welcome to Photo Bo Bob, and if you clicked on this video, I bet you're wondering which Canon mirrorless camera I recommend for beginners. Now, we do have three lined up here. We have the M50 Mark II, we're going to be reviewing the R50, and we're going to be reviewing the R100. Now, the specs for these cameras will be on the side of the screen as I bring them up, and we're actually going to start with the oldest of the bunch, the M50 Mark II. Now, I got into this camera using it for a photo booth, and it works great for a photo booth. However, if you're a photographer, I'm not really going to recommend this camera to you because the mount is discontinued. They're no longer making new lenses, and what you see is what you get as far as that. So there's no real room to grow with this camera. However, if you're using it for like travel photography or vlogging and just want something to use around or give a gift for mom and dad, this is a more than capable camera for, you know, everyday shooting. The only downside is this is just as expensive. It's $650 new. You might be able to find a deal used, but you take a risk of used products not working properly, so on and so forth. This R50 is the same price at $650 with a kit lens. So if you're a photographer, not going to recommend this. I'm going to recommend this. Now, if you are using it for a photo booth, this option's fine. You're really not going to be upgrading the lens as much with a photo booth. You're probably just going to stick with the kit lens. This is also great for a 360 photo booth as it has a rotating screen, so your guests can see themselves as the camera's rotating it around. This is going to give you a lot better image quality and low light performance compared to your iPad or iPhone or what have you, although the iPhones have come a long way now, haven't they? Now, the other thing is the battery is a bit smaller than the other two cameras, so keep that in mind. For a photo booth, it's not really going to matter. You should have power in all the time. It runs on an SD card, pretty basic. It's not the best for mounting. The other two are better. They have little escapes toward the end of the, I guess you would call it the battery cover. So you're not going to run into that same problem with the flat surface for your photo booth mount if that's an issue. But I'm also going to be putting up sample images for this right about now. Our next camera is the R50. Now, this has an upgraded sensor compared to the M50 Mark II, so it has better autofocus, better ISO. It's the newest model for entry level. It's built very much the same. It's got a rotating screen. It might be a little bit thicker, right? There's definitely a little bit of a difference, but you know, pretty much the same. Now, if you're a photographer, I am going to recommend you get this camera to start off because the current lens mount on this is the R mount, and that is what all the professional Canon cameras are using, and you'll be able to grow with this camera. It is a very capable camera for both photography and video, especially for starting out. Now, the one downside that you are going to have, right, all these cameras do have a pop-out flash, right, which is fine, but it's now a pop-out flash is not going to be as good as getting an actual unit or using an external studio flash with a trigger if you're looking to do studio work. Now, the issue I have with this camera is that the hot shoe mount is proprietary for some fucking reason. Canon decided to go that route, so you'll need an extra $50 and a hard to find adapter at the time. I think they might have just gotten stock now, but I was looking for months. You couldn't find it anywhere on B&H or any of the other photography sites. So that was a pain. I bought this for a photo booth. If you have a photo booth, I do not recommend getting this camera for the simple fact of it needs that damn hot shoe trigger for whatever goddamn reason. Now, if you're using it for a 360 booth, this is a great camera. I recommend for that alone, because you're not going to use a hot shoe. You just need the battery. The battery life's awesome on this. It'll last the whole event. Still bringing extra, but yeah. And as you see with the battery, right, it's got a little thing. So if you did use it for a photo booth, you got the adapter, you could push it right here. But for 650 bucks, I think the last option is going to be a lot better for photo booths. Again, photography, go with this. You'll grow with it. You'll grow to an R5. You can upgrade the bodies, keep the glass. I got a nice 16 millimeter on here. If you're using this for a 360 or any of these cameras for a 360 booth, I'm going to recommend getting a fisheye. 16 millimeters was the lowest one I could get at the time. It looks great, but a fisheye a little bit wider would be a lot better. All right, and last but not least, we have the R100. This is the cheapest of the lineup. You can get the kit for about 500 bucks. It's $150 less, and I don't recommend this for photography because for the extra 150, I am going to recommend getting this guy. For the sheer fact of it just does a little bit more, even with that hot shoot not working quite well, and I'm kind of screwing you guys on buying an extra adapter. I think that's sort of where to go. Now, if you're using this for a photo booth, I'm going to recommend this because this has just a normal hot shoot. It's cheaper. It does not have a rotating screen, but it has the same processor as the M50 Mark II. So same great autofocus, as good as the R50, no, but it's more than capable for what you need for a photo booth. For a photo booth, you're just going to sit this up in a box anyway. You're not going to use that screen. You're going to do everything within software, and it's going to work great with any off-brand triggers you might find on Amazon. Also, it's got that nice escape hole for your wire. You'll be able to mount it just fine. It's lighter. This is the camera I'm going to recommend for my photo booth owners who are looking to upgrade from their DSLRs. Now, a reason why you might want to upgrade from your DSLRs is because the mirrors end up going. It's a mechanical failure. It's not something you really want during an event. After so many photos, I think photo booths tend to wear on the camera a bit more, depending on how frequently you book events and everything. But it's one less thing that's going to break on you with a mirrorless system. So keep that in mind when you're building a photo booth, or if you're upgrading. I'd recommend going to Canon camera. This is probably the cheapest camera on the market you can get for mirrorless that'll work with darkroom booth, and it'll still give you real good results. Now, you could use Nikon in darkroom booth and they work fine. However, the Canon cameras are going to autofocus a whole lot better. I started off with a Z7 and a Z6 in a photo booth. They gave amazing quality. However, the autofocus didn't work up until like a month ago. They had to upgrade the software and darkroom, and they're finally starting to get Z6s, Z5s, and Z7s with the autofocus capabilities. However, this is going to show the autofocus live on screen, whereas the autofocus for the Nikons, you gotta wait in between frames. It doesn't show you live on screen whether you're focused in or not. So keep that in mind. Well, anyway, I hope this short video helps you on your purchasing plans, or whatever. I wish somebody was there to tell me that the damn R100 had a nice hot shoot. The R50 didn't, because I probably just would have bought two R100s instead of the R50. But here I am with 3 cameras. I currently use the white one as a backup for the photo booth. The R100 I use as a main photo booth camera, and then the R50 I use for a 360 camera. So they're all getting purpose out of them. I'm going to show you some sample images now, so that way you can see the difference when it comes to the actual photography part of the cameras instead of just the bodies and the features. And now I'm going to be rolling on out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, if it helped you out and all that stuff. Give me a comment. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to do or see or whatever. I don't know. Bye.